Hello Guardian, I hope you're doing well. My name is Carpe Noctis and today I'll teach you how to do a G3 Riven nice and easy. I know that many people are afraid of this encounter or don't wanna learn it, don't wanna teach it, yada yada. But don't be afraid, because although it seems a bit tough at first glance, it's actually way easier than it sounds, and today I'm gonna debunk and demystify all of that. And yes, there are many moving parts, but all of them are quite simple and easy to understand. Following up with this intro, I'll give you a quick summary and then proceed to break down each subject. Timestamps are also in the description. Map layout, encounter flow, callouts, mechanics, additional inputs and text, and loadouts. Map layout. You will start in a big room split in half. Left side is called crystal side, right side is called tree side, and it's visually thematic represented. You have 6 platforms where players stand on and fall down. While falling down, you will see 2 doors for the crystal side and for the tree side, which are both clearly visually represented as you saw in the background. Encounter flow. Now that you understand the map, the flow is simple. All 6 players start together, they split in those platforms, fall down in the middle, and then they will go into both openings, 3 players on each side, 3 for the crystal room and 3 for the tree side. Once players split into said rooms, crystal and tree, one side at random will be doing a stun and a call out, and the other will be doing DPS and shooting ice. Don't worry about these keywords, we'll go on that in a second. Both sides will also do a thing called cleanse. When all that is done, both sides will have an elevator to go up to a second floor. The process will repeat, but now the roles are traded. If you were stun and call out, now you are DPS and ice. If you were DPS and ice, now you are stun and call out. Both sides also do the cleanse, they will go up again. When you go up for the final time to the normal floor, or let's call it third floor, you are together as 6 as a happy family again. While up, you will have 3 stuns, you will take callouts on all of them, then you will have a damage phase with 6 ice to break, then everyone falls down, breaks some bubbles, and when you eventually fall off to the end, that's a full 1 phase. You can have 2 full damage phases, and then you either reach the threshold of HP to go into last stand or you wipe. Callouts. On this encounter, there are kind of 4 different callouts and layouts to take notice. There are some symbols, we'll go over that in a second. There are room layouts to call locations, and there are the Riven eyes. To make all of this easier for you, I would like to give a special shout out to Echo Spawn and Archetype.gg community. This sheet was made some years ago, and they were kind enough to give us their own version and also this blank version at some requests from the community. I've also took the liberty of going a step further and filling out their own image with my own callouts to make it easier for you. So eyes are simple. When you have to break eyes, you look at the eyes like if they were the Riven face, and you just read them left to right. L1 through 5 are 1 through 5. Some people like to trade L2 and L4 because they pretend to see a N and a Z shape or whatever, but basically, regardless of what team you are playing with, you either have a straight left to right or you trade L2 and L4, and you can play with both teams and both callouts. As for symbols, just know that there are 4 creatures: fish, dragon, snake and bird. You can always just say the type of creature and then try to describe it as easy and fast as possible. You don't need to have memorized names, but you can also, if your team has a Discord or a paper or whatever, you can and should of course name all of them and just look at the list on the go and follow a call out. They are quite obvious and simple enough. Now, for these room layouts, let me show you something that I cooked. You remember a little bit back in the video where I showed you the encounter flow? Let's go a step further. Now, here you have the names Crystal 1, Crystal 2, Trees 1, Trees 2. If you notice closely, all these three names are in the same blue color, and only this one has a different color. What does this mean? Well, 3 of the rooms have the exact same layout, and only one of the 4 rooms has a different layout. This is very convenient. So, both sides first floor and also Crystal's second floor, all 3 of them are represented with this picture in the bottom on the Crystal room. And then Tree's second floor, the only different room out of all 4, is represented on the top in this tree layout. This way it's really easier for you when you need to call out any of these. You look at the correct layout and call the names. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking, and let me show you something else. Yep, that's right. If you are playing with LFG or your team doesn't have access to Discord at the moment or a paper or whatever, I also got you covered. You can just split the room into 4 big places: left stairs, right stairs, pit and stage. Then you agree with everyone to just call the place. The runner goes to the designated place. Let's say the call out was pit. He goes to the pit. It's obvious enough if this is splitted in these 4 locations. Then, once the runner is on the location you want, you will just guide him by saying up, down, left, right. By the way, just by being this goated and give you this specific LFG call out, you should just subscribe, like, join my Discord and all that right now to make sure you don't miss out on these cool tips and information. As it's free, helps me out a ton, and you can always change your mind later. Mechanics. As far as mechanics go, it's quite simple. So you step on the plates, drop down, divide into rooms, yada yada. Once you are in your room, if you are stunning, what happens is you will get 2 possible situations. On a certain situation, Riven shows up with a bunch of tentacles, someone will bait the tentacle and run out, and someone else will shoot the tentacle. If you do it successfully, she will show up 2 glowing eyes, which are the callouts you need to give to the other team. She can always have the same stun, one or another, or be swapping, it's random. The other possible way to stun is when she doesn't show all those tentacles, but rather she opens her mouth and shoots fire. So people will call it tentacles or fire. When it's fire, she will open the mouth orange for a brief moment, then spit a bunch of fire and be immune, and she will be looping within some seconds of shooting and being damageable. You just shoot when it's orange to break it and get the eye callouts. If you are on the DPS team, you will do a thing called cleanse. I'll go on that in a second. Then Riven will appear. You will DPS her in the mouth. Some care to not break the eyes, because if you break the wrong eyes or break one and then have enough delay before breaking the other, you will wipe the team. With care to not shoot the eyes, you will DPS her in the mouth, and when she's about to close the mouth, you will have a brief moment where you need to shoot the correct eye callouts to make it work and make the encounter keep going. Now again, if you shoot wrong eyes or you shoot more than the intended, let's say the callout is R3 and R4, you shoot the correct eyes, but you also shoot one additional eye or more, you will wipe. Let's also say that you shoot one of the correct eyes, but then you take too much time to shoot the other, and they are shot in different moments. You also wipe, because if you shoot the first, you have a certain time frame to get the other in time, or you wipe. And also again, when the DPS phase ends, you still have a certain time to shoot the eyes, or you also wipe. But that's easy enough. You just DPS, shoot the two correct eyes, and it's done. Both sides will do a thing called cleanse. DPS side will first cleanse, then DPS, then shoot eyes. The stun side will stun, call out the eyes, and then cleanse. The order is reversed. To cleanse, you just have a player giving a special enemy called Eye of Riven. That knight, it's a taken knight, it will also drop an object called Eye of Riven that you can pick up. While you have that, you can also shoot and do a lot of things, but regardless, you then look at the pillar in the beginning of the room on the entrance, and you will see a symbol. You will see a bunch of symbols, but they are all the same from top to bottom. You will call that symbol, and one of the other players will already be waiting up top of the pillar and looking at the screen. That player will see a bunch of symbols in the whole room. Now remember the layout I've showed you? The player that's up in the pillar will read where the correct symbol is and guide you to that location. If you are the cleansing person that is holding the Eye of Riven, you move to the designated location that is being called out, and once you reach the location, you'll see kind of a glowing, like a circle thing, meaning that's a symbol. If you don't see it, you are not on top of a symbol, but you'll see it multiple times if you are passing through different symbols. Regardless, once you are on the correct one, you just hold your grenade button to blast, lose the item, and give a cleanse. If you do it on the wrong symbol, you die, there's no wipe, but you'll be conditioned in time and potentially wipe or mess up other mechanics later on, so you should try to avoid that. If you do the correct symbol, the elevator will spawn in the middle of the room and you can go up. Quick extra note here. If you cleanse a symbol, you will get a debuff preventing you from cleansing it again. So if you are one of the people doing the mechanic, you need to read in one room and cleanse on the other. Also, going up from first to second floor, you should try to go together at the same time on both sides. But from second to the third floor, you should ignore that and just go up as fast as possible. Whoever reaches first will start swaying out and killing heads, to make sure you don't get overwhelmed. Once in second floor, you do exactly the same thing, but just remember that once again, the tree's second floor has a different layout. So maybe take care and advise your teammates to be ready and know about that. Once you reach the top, you will now not have to cleanse again. You will just have stun and DPS, but Riven will appear in 3 different locations. You will stun in all those 3 locations, and you will get 2 high callouts for each, making a total of 6 high callouts. You should already have designated players to shoot the first pair, second pair, and the third pair, respectively. Then, when she appears a 4th time, the whole team will DPS, and designated players will shoot the 6 correct eyes. After that, you will gain a debuff of Crippling Darkness. If it reaches 10 stacks, you die. So you need to reach the plates from the beginning of the encounter in time before you die, and then you will lose the stacks and not gain them. Once all players are on plates, they will drop down, and shoot some bubbles on Riven's body. She will have a lot of those bubbles, but you need to take care and do a good mix of shooting the bubbles to DPS, but also shooting some taken darts to make sure you stay alive. As you are shooting darts and bubbles, you will fall down. If you reach the HP threshold to kill her, you go into a west stand. If you don't, that's a full one phase and you rinse repeat everything. On the west stand, Riven will teleport you to the Ascendant Plane. Usually you should have all team AFK and send about 1 or 2 people up. I will recommend 2 people, because in case someone falls off or whatever, the other person will get it. You just have to touch an orb at the end of the spiral, and that's it, nothing else. The whole team should be clearing some phalanxes and other enemies and taking darts from the spawn, and whoever is going up should try to be as fast as possible, because within some time everyone will start losing HP until you eventually wipe. Should you beat it successfully, everyone dead or alive will get teleported to a room again, Riven will appear and you will DPS her as a team. This time there are no ice to break, there are no mechanics, nothing. This second west stand is a traditional west stand where you just kill or wipe. You kill her and take down that final bit of HP, that's it, it's done. Now after that there's kind of a third west stand. So she will become immune for a few seconds, her mouth will open, and then you go inside the mouth through a tunnel until you find her heart and break her heart. You need to break it in time, or again you wipe. Should you break the heart in time, congratulations Guardian, you and your team were successful and you beat the encounter. Now you know how to do legit Riven. Additional inputs and texts. So, if you remember, I told you that the stunning team will DPS post-stun and callouts, but the DPS team will cleanse first and then DPS and do callouts. It should be easier the other way around, to both cleanse later, but that may cause some desync timers between both teams and may cause struggles if she appears on the second floor before you arrive. Things can go weird, you may not have a stun, does not have the eye callouts and rely on RNG to break the correct 2 out of 10 eyes, and does wipe. So to make things simple and to avoid some other intricacies and hidden mechanics or sub-mechanic of the mechanic, just know that it could be done both ways. It will just change the timers and make you have additional callouts of going together and whatnot. But the easiest way is just like I've shown you before. If you are DPS, you just cleanse first, then DPS, then break eyes, and then go up. If you are stun, you stun, give the callout, then cleanse. Another thing you can do is when you are on the DPS side, you can also kill the special enemy when she's about to appear. So as soon as you hear the other team giving you the callouts, you immediately kill the enemy that spawns the orb. The orb lasts for 45 seconds until it despawns and forces you to kill another enemy, spawn another, all that. But what usually happens is, as soon as you hear the other team giving you the eye callouts, you kill the enemy and leave the orb on the floor. You will DPS, break the eyes, and you still have about 8 to 15 seconds to pick up the orb and do the cleanse way faster. This will help you out with survival, with time, with everything. Then again, both sides will go up kind of at the same time. On the second floor, it will not matter that much. Whoever can go just goes up immediately. And from second to third floor, the elevator will not be on the middle of the room again, but rather kind of outside of the room. Editor Noct is here. I want to give a special shout out to my friend and Day 1 team member Ben for helping me out with some of the cooking on these extra tips and strategies, especially the thing where DPS team quenches first. Huge shout out. Thank you for the consulting, you're the man. As for loadouts, there isn't much to say here, other than some recommendations could be solar subclasses on all 3 characters, insta-damage supers or a well, having debuffs, buffs and everything. You should also use either healing nades or damage grenades. You could use something like easy, pulse and linear for precision damage, or maybe a grenade launcher, bonus points if you're edging with bait and switch. I should have a cascade point bait and switch, because here you need burst damage and high DPS rather than total damage. You can also get a pulse rifle that matches the same element as your heavy, so that your surges will double up for both weapons. If you want to see a real example of a clear, I'll give you 2 links in the description of 2 clears with my clan. If you watch both videos, you will probably see me do all of the different roles and mechanics on my own POV, but just notice that some of the callouts are a bit different, as those are private to our team or sometimes use curse words. And once again, remember to be kind enough, and if you are on LFG, it is what it is. You can use the simple stage speed left and right loadout, and then guide the player up, down, left, right, take a bit extra time making them move. The specific callouts are better and faster, but this is simple enough to make everyone able to do so. With all of that being said, I hope this video helps you get the clear. Please let me know in the comments if you got the clear after watching this video, or if you already knew what's up but were curious. Let me know if you like this guide and if you want more of this style. Furthermore, I want to thank you for your time here, watching my content, and as always, take care, Guardian, because you are worth it.